Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So we had a debate last night. Some people probably didn't even know it was taking place, but there was another JV squad Republican debate where they have all of the remaining candidates on a stage attacking each other. You have Chris Christie, the bloated blowhard on the left, causing a 8.2 magnitude earthquake in the state of Alabama every time he got angry and started to attack Trump and tried to attack the other candidates for not attacking Donald Trump enough. But it was a disaster. It was a boring disaster. There were some moments. Vivek had a few funny lines, a few punches at Chris Christie that were funny, a few punches at Nikki Haley that were pretty funny. And if anything, he is making his case stronger and stronger that he's going to be a viable 2028 candidate. But either way, looking at this debate, the ratings sucked. I mean, they got, 4 million views? And that was a 47% ratings drop from the last debate. So less people watched this debate than watched previous debates. And the only way this is going to really move the needle for anybody is if they have moments that are really leading to highlight reels. But besides Vivek Ramaswamy, whose support has basically been stagnant despite a few bombastic debate performances, mainly because a lot of the people that like him are going to be voting for Trump in the primary, it's like, yeah, this isn't moving the needle. The needle's not being moved whatsoever, and people are just tuning it out because they understand that Donald Trump, more likely than not, is going to be the nominee. He has over 60% in the polls. He has a 48% lead nationally. In some states, it's wider than that. In some states like Iowa, where everybody is pouring all their resources into Iowa, Trump still has a massive lead despite barely even trying. The fact that he is leading by 30 points without metaphorically lifting a finger is nothing short of extremely impressive there. But either way, it's like he doesn't even need to win Iowa by 30. He could win it by 10, and it's still going to give him a lot of momentum because it's a statement victory. It shows that he won a state big without really trying a whole lot in the state, and he's probably going to win the other states that the resources have been spent a little bit more, I would say evenly across the board. He's going to start to put up some big victories, especially by the time Super Tuesday rolls around. This thing is over. Most people know it. So we could talk about the debate, and I gave my debate analysis, and it's a disaster, folks. This is the GOP without Donald Trump. There's no bench. There's really not much of a bench. You have Nikki Haley, who is an insufferable neocon. She's carried by donors. She was constantly on the back foot. She was backtracking. She's insufferable. She's always been insufferable, but for some reason she gains in the polls a little bit after every single debate, and maybe it's because she does appeal to that more country club style of Republican more so than somebody like DeSantis. And maybe that's true. But you have Nikki Haley. She's going out there saying all these ridiculous things. She said something to the tune of, if you watch TikTok for 30 minutes, you're 17% more anti-Semitic and pro-Hamas. And it's like, what is she even talking about? I mean, by that own logic, her daughter must be a super Nazi because her own daughter is always scrolling through TikTok, always posting on TikTok. But you're not allowed to mention that despite the fact that her daughter's like in her 20s or whatever. But still, she got destroyed on multiple occasions. Even Ron DeSantis was more aggressive, probably because his staffers told him to lean in and to attack Haley, because he never really attacked anybody unprovoked in these past debates, but still the guy comes off extremely awkward and robotic, and he also comes off that way when he's not speaking, and that's not something that really sits well with voters. So even though you could say he was talking more, he jumped in a few times. When he wasn't really jumping in, he was pretty much a non-factor. And it's like, okay, just because you're talking doesn't mean that you're making progress, because when you're talking, you are coming across as somebody who is not that likable. You could put a robot, ChatGPT, whatever on the debate stage saying the same exact things, and they probably will come across a little bit more human than somebody like Ron DeSantis. And he's got that personality problem And you could say it doesn't matter. Politics is not a personality contest, but in many cases it is. People want to be able to connect with the person that they're voting for. It doesn't matter as much at the state level or even when it comes to Congress, but the presidency is a whole different ball game than that. And DeSantis is finding that out the hard way despite winning big as an incumbent governor in Florida. And then you look at Vivek. He was entertaining, he was exciting, but folks, we know that Vivek is not in this to win this. The guy's polling at like 5%, and his main appeal is the Trump base. I will say that he did steal the show at times during the debate, but it's like the people that like him, they love his performance. The people that don't like him, they despise his performance. But either way, it's likely not moving the needle much in his column. He does not really have a shot at the nomination. None of these people do. And neither does Chris Christie, who tried to do what he did to Marco Rubio to every single person on the stage. I feel like if it did work in terms of like the whole "you're a robot" thing, he did it to DeSantis because DeSantis would not really answer a question. But either way, he was insufferable, and he was going out there just going full attack mode on Donald Trump. He's like, you guys don't attack Trump enough. That's why you guys are part of the problem. You guys just want positions in his administration or whatever. And it's ironic because the reason why Chris Christie, this terminal TDS condition, is because he's just salty he didn't get a job in Trump's administration. That's all this was about. That's why he turned on Trump during his presidency. That's why he doesn't like him now, because Donald Trump did not give him a job. Christie was full on pro-Trump in 2016, and then eventually, as we know, has turned on him and repeats the same type of talking points on the debate stage that you would hear over at CNN, which apparently will be hosting 2 more debates next month, probably going to drive down their ratings over at CNN even further. I don't know why the RNC doesn't exactly just let CNN go away, but you could argue that it's funny that CNN gets those debates. It's like an accidental own at the concept of debates and CNN together, but I don't think they see it that way. But either way, I think Donald Trump won by not being there for 2 reasons. I'm not just saying that to be facetious. I'm not just saying that to say, oh, this is a disaster and it's boring and nobody's tuning in. It's another win for Trump, even though that's true. But the fact that you have the foaming at the mouth Trump hater on that stage being Chris Christie, somebody who is an optics disaster, who Vivek really hit the nail on the head on when it came down to, yeah, Chris, you need to leave the stage and you need to go eat a meal. I thought he went kind of a little bit soft on him regarding the obesity, but either way, what can you say? It's true. Chris Christie has no business being there, but the fact that he's the attack dog that is going out there attacking Trump makes Trump look good by comparison. And then you have DeSantis and Haley just going at each other's throats, which means that they're fighting for second place. They're not going out there attacking Donald Trump. So once again, Donald Trump kind of is in a position where he's made these debates irrelevant without him, and they don't exactly hurt him. They're attacking each other, and Trump is just sailing to victory. There is a reason why after every single debate, Donald Trump gains in the polls. Ron DeSantis stagnates. Nikki Haley's gained a little bit, but not a whole lot. And what it does tell me is that Donald Trump is gaining because of the fact that the people that are watching these debates, these shit shows, understand that we need Trump back. The Republican Party without Trump does not have what it takes to go out there and win. They don't have what it takes to go out there and beat Joe Biden. Trump actually has a record. He does the town halls. He's talking about issues that people care about, and he's doing so in a way that actually is able to relate to people a lot more so than these other career politicians are. And even though a lot of his supporters, they like Vivek, Vivek's time will probably eventually come. It's not going to come right now. He's polling at 5% for a reason. If he was polling at 40%, we could have that debate, but it's not the case. He's polling at 4.9%. But either way, the primary is pretty much cooked. Iowa will happen next month. You will see what happens in Iowa. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think Trump takes it. Even if it's just by 20, that's still a big win. Then he wins New Hampshire and South Carolina by around 30. One of those is an open primary. The other is Nikki Haley's home state. and then you go win Nevada big, you win Michigan big, you wipe the floor with everybody on Super Tuesday, and by then he's going to be approaching the delegate threshold needed to be the Republican nominee. There's no reason for any other candidates to be in this race. When DeSantis announced his run, in the state of Iowa, he was polling just down 12 points to Donald Trump. Now he's polling down 30 points to Donald Trump, and he is at risk of falling into third place. And as the trajectory is going, it seems as if he will indeed fall into third place. We'll see what happens over the next month and a half, but it's like you announce, you pour tens upon millions of dollars in the state of Iowa, all your resources in Iowa, your whole ground game in Iowa, and you fall in the polls. And you could say, well, the polls aren't always accurate. But it's like there's a difference between polls going out there and saying Hillary wins Wisconsin by 6 and then Trump wins it by half a point. And polls in every single state across the board, whether they're his own internals in terms of DeSantis's polls, whether they are right-leaning pollsters, whether they are left-leaning pollsters, whatever, you look at it, what do the polls all show? They all show DeSantis trailing by a ridiculous amount. At best, he's down 20 points in Iowa, and it's gotten worse. So while you can critique polling, you're not going to find a polling error that big, ever. I mean, that's just the way these things work. So either way, it is ridiculous, folks. It's absolutely ridiculous that these things actually have to exist. It's just a pointless second-place finish race that you see between these four. And it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be a lot of fun when the results pour in Iowa in about, 38 days? We're that close. And DeSantis has not only just made zero progress, he has completely deteriorated. And we will see how this debate will impact the polls, if it does at all. I don't really anticipate it to. Nikki Haley didn't really have that strong of a performance, and I really can't say that Ron DeSantis did either, despite his supporters trying to say that it was better than the last three. So we'll have to see, but it's not moving the needle. Trump is that guy. He's going to be the nominee. He's going to take on Joe Biden. Joe Biden, by the way, at his lowest approval point yet. It is a disaster for Biden. Trump's going to be the guy, and we got to rally behind him so we can take him out next November. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle out.